There's something lingering around Washington, and watch out. It might be contagious.
I have Trump derangement syndrome.
Okay.
I'm very proud. It's a disease that I'm very proud of. I don't want to get rid of it. I can't stand it.
And there might be something else going around.
Yep, everybody, it's a cold sore. There you have it. Stress can do horrible things. Why are you stressed? A lot of reasons. I completely believe there are other sentient beings in the world. That we are not it. In this universe, we are not the only people. And they're showing up, and they're showing up now in numbers that have never been recorded before. I'd love to say I got it from making out with some really sexy people, but it's not the case. I'm going to put on my Abreva on my cold sore. There it is. Shine bright like a cold sore. Shine bright like a cold sore.
Democrats are going to have to go back into quarantine. Some of them are already social distancing. Tim Walz's daughter is giving dating advice. She says, stay 6 feet away if a guy does this.
A litmus test for me and my friends for like years now has been if the guy we're talking to follows Joe Rogan on Instagram, they're a red flag and we should probably stop talking to them.
They haven't learned a thing. They're still living in a bubble that popped 5 weeks ago.
They lost because they put themselves in a bubble, and they put themselves in such a bubble and such an echo chamber that they don't even know what people outside of that bubble and echo chamber are talking about. I was having this conversation with them. I was saying that, you know, man, and I was saying it publicly too. I said, you know, I feel like a lot of the energy and the enthusiasm that exists for the vice president is largely within the party. It's largely within that bubble.
Democrats, when they talk to their butcher, their doorman, their driver, their dry cleaner, they never noticed none of these people made a point about their pronouns. Hey, man, I'll have 2 ribeyes. Hey, excuse me, it's she, her. They never noticed that never happened. The Ragin' Cajun says, what are you, stupid?
We're not here to be a debating society. We're not here to like score debate points, or we're not here to advocate unpopular things, although we think they're the right thing to do. We're really here to win God elections. That's why we exist. So wait a minute. If you have an idea and no one talks about it, and you still insist that it was a good idea, well, it doesn't make any sense. If it was a good idea, it's popular, people would talk about it. Now, don't come here and tell me that this identity language, this silly dictionary crap that people engaged in, wasn't a political liability. It clearly was. This was a political stupidity on a level that's self-inflicted.
After raiding Trump's house, staging a coup, and pardoning Hunter, they lost whatever moral high ground they claimed to have had. Now even Cuomo can't trust them.
You were creating an impression of a standard that you never had any intention of holding up yourself. And the Democrats have proven the problem with their actions. Those New York cases, Charlie, were crap. And they only brought them to try to slow down Trump. We both know it. And what they did with Kamala Harris is proof that they don't give a about any higher standard. They didn't even allow for democratic process in their own stupid little club where they can do whatever they want.
It's more than just an issue of not trusting Democrats. Americans can't even hear them because their delivery vehicle's broken. Kamala's campaign guy says the party structure, it's basically a teardown.
For the left, our amplification ecosystem is the mainstream media in Hollywood. And the mainstream media in Hollywood, A, don't really mess with us, or they're not like actually allies. And they're not where these voters who don't want to pay attention to politics are. Like, we're sitting here at Harvard at a big event with the mainstream media, and this is like voters out there that we actually needed to reach are not seeing this at all, and they're not seeing mainstream media at all. And, you know, I think fundamentally we have a mismatch between the amplification engine of the left and, you know, the media of this moment, which is increasingly alternative, anti-establishment.
Democrats are alone, and now they're broke. Kamala blew through $2 billion and left her party in debt. So the donors turned into tightwads. Joe might never break ground on his presidential library. And now we're hearing he's canceled from the speaking circuit.
Biden may never live to see the building of a library, in part because of his age, but also because he's going to have trouble raising money. And I don't know, is he going to get a big book deal? Is he going to get paid speeches? Like, he's about to go from a guy who was a senior senator for decades, then vice president, then out briefly, but then back as president. It's going to be a shock to the system. You think he's feeling kind of irrelevant now? He's going to be in for a rude awakening, I think, and I'm not sure he's going to be equipped if he wants attention. I'm not sure he's going to be equipped to garner it.
Who's going to pay $300,000 to hear Biden talk for an hour? Who? Besides the Chinese. Biden already has one foot out the door, and at this point, he's more worried about his own legacy than he is about mending fences. Sources inside a Biden world say Biden doesn't think he owes anything to a party that launched a mutiny against his presidential bid. Today, the big guy came out and took a victory lap for Bidenomics.
4 years later, we have proof that the playbook is at least now working. You know, within the first 2 months of office, I signed the American Rescue Plan, the most significant economic recovery package in our history. And also learned something from Donald Trump. He signed checks for people for $7,400 because we passed the plan. And I didn't. Stupid.
If Biden had put his name on the stimmy checks, he would have won. That's what he's saying. If Bidenomics was so great, why'd the Democrats get wiped out? Biden's leaving, and the top 3 words that voters use to describe him: old, falling, and inflation. That's according to a survey by the Daily Mail. The party elders are toast. Biden's going to live in disgrace in Delaware. Pelosi, I'm not going to say she's past her prime. I would never say that about a woman. But let's just say she should spend more quality time with Paulie P. Bill Clinton, Me Too'd. Hillary couldn't even sell her play over here on Broadway. So the Democrats are faced with a choice: Trump derangement syndrome or come for the king. Journalist John Cass says to move forward, Democrats must oust Obama. This is his mess. He orchestrated a coup. He installed Kamala and his whole team. Now the party's in shambles. Even his hometown's over it. A lifelong Chicago Democrat says, I think Barack is already finished, already old news. Democrats don't have to find somebody to take him out. He's already taken himself out. Cass says Trump had the guts to pull the Bush dynasty and their endless wars out of the GOP by the roots. And in November, the Republicans pulled off a sweep. Will a Democrat with Trumpian guts emerge to challenge Obama's influence over the Democrats? Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.